The following video discusses art therapy interventions and treatment. While origami may be an effective coping skill without the aid of a therapist, these videos are designed to work alongside therapy and are not in themselves a form of treatment. If you are experiencing mental health symptoms, please contact a local mental health care provider. This training will not qualify you as an art therapist. You can learn more about art therapy at arttherapy.org.
Welcome to our first Mindfulness Origami tutorial. In this video, we'll be folding paper hearts and working to engage with our senses throughout the process. We're going to start with a quick mindfulness exercise to get us into the right headspace to begin. Begin by finding a comfortable position to sit. If you'd like to close your eyes, go ahead. I'd like you to imagine you're holding a mug of steaming hot chocolate. Feel the warmth in your hands. Now bring the cup up towards your face and breathe in deeply through your nose. Imagine smelling the delicious hot chocolate. Really savor this moment. As you breathe out, imagine you're blowing on the drink to cool it down. Feel the steam rising to tickle your face, feeling yourself warm and comfortable. Continue breathing in this way for a few moments. If you find yourself getting frustrated or disconnected through the rest of the process, feel free to take a pause and return to your hot chocolate. We'll begin the folding process by reviewing some basic folding technique. As we work, I want you to pay special attention to the feel of the paper in your hands and the sound the paper makes as we fold it. Something to note with this model is that a part of the back of the paper will show through in the finished piece. So if there's a special piece of paper that you'd like to fold, but that you don't want to see, you might consider saving that one for a later model. Creating proper folds is all about making sure the slack of the paper goes where it's supposed to instead of rolling your fold out of where you want it. You'll line up the paper, making sure that your corners are straight, and you'll press the slack of the paper back towards the seam and push it in. You can use one hand as I demonstrated here, or if it's easier for you, you can use both hands. What's important is that your edges stay put, so you want to hold good pressure on the corner when you're doing a diagonal fold, or across the top or the whole part of the seam when you're doing a horizontal fold. Now here I'll show you using both hands to do the fold. Again, what's important is holding that tension and pushing the slack back towards the back of the paper. As we begin the heart, we have an excellent opportunity to practice those folds. We're going to be putting in 2 diagonal folds in opposing directions. These are going to create our guidelines that we'll be using later in the fold. So we want to start with our paper facing up. So if there's something that you want to see in the finished fold, that's what you want to be looking at as you start. Then we're going to place in those diagonal folds so that you're seeing the back for a moment while you fold it. Next, we're going to turn it over and put in 2 horizontal folds, further dividing our paper into quadrants. You can see here that on my example paper, the seams that you're creating are outlined with the marker so that they're easier to see as we move through the process. Okay, now the folds are going to begin on the back. We'll start on the top corner. Mine is green. And we're going to fold that top tip down to the center of the paper. It should be marked out with an X with the creases that we made just a minute ago. You want to fold that down tight, and then we're going to take the bottom corner, mine is pink, and fold it up to the fold we just created. It should overlap the first fold by quite a margin. Next, we're going to take one side of the paper and lift it up so it lines up with that center seam on the piece we just folded up. You want it to be as straight as you can, but you can always adjust this while we do the second part. We're going to repeat on the other side and line that up. If you have to roll your creases on the other side to make it even, go ahead and do it. No one's going to see that change because it'll be put on the back of the heart model. Now we're going to bring in our corners. I like to make them match with the diagonal seam that we marked out coming across. But this is where some personality can be put into this heart model. Depending on how you like your heart, you might fold this piece a little further in or a little further out. It just kind of changes the overall shape of the heart a little bit. You can also put in personality here. I like to take these edges down to the seam that we had made earlier, but you can put them a little higher or a little lower if you want the arc of your heart to be higher or lower. So this is what mine looks like. Another option, if you want to use this as a card so that it doesn't unfold itself when you open it, is to flip the folds of those corners. So you'll open it up, and along the seams that you already made, where the creases are, you're just going to reverse them and close it again. This way, if you open the card, it stays folded up, and you could put something inside of it, or you can write inside of it. It just adds a little bit of versatility to the process. And here's our finished heart. Now you'll see with those folds reversed, it does have a little dimension, wants to pop up and open up a little bit. If you press it down, it won't do that anymore. Thanks for watching, and happy folding!